Today on People Now, Kanye West opens up about bipolar disorder and paranoia in an intimate interview with David Letterman.
This just feels really schemy and slimy to me.
Little red flags are popping up for Hannah B as her quest for love continues on The Bachelorette.
Miley Cyrus is teasing her fans with new music. We've got all the details about her sultry promo video.
Lamar Odom reveals the aftermath of his last overdose that led to him becoming comatose.
This doesn't look to me like your house.
HGTV star Jasmine Roth renovated the Brady Bunch house. She's telling us how her HGTV show gave the iconic house a much-needed upgrade.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Good to see you. We hope you had a great and relaxing Memorial Day weekend.
So nice to get that extra day.
It was so nice. It was relaxing, but it is always like the first day back. You almost need more time to just get back.
Well, and I got very burned.
Yeah.
You got a little sunburned.
Yeah, I
too.
get a little under
I hope
here.
you guys used your SPF, but we forget sometimes.
One thing that we definitely did make time for last night, it was a dramatic episode of The Bachelorette with Luke P and Cam spiraling out of control to some degree, but amidst all that drama, a few new favorites did emerge.
Yes, we want to know which new frontrunner is your favorite. Is it Connor S? Is it Peter the Pilot, Mike, or Jed? Vote in our People poll or tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow.
I've got a favorite right away. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Save it.
Save it. We'll check in on those results in a little bit. We'll break down all the drama, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Kanye West is getting more candid than ever about his bipolar disorder and paranoia. In a new episode of the Netflix show My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, West bears all about what it feels like to experience what he calls a ramp up, saying that during these episodes, he feels a heightened connection with the universe, but at the same time gets, quote, hyper paranoid about everything and thinks everything's a conspiracy. The 41-year-old rapper says you feel a number of things, like the government is putting chips in your head and like you're being recorded. He even says, quote, you have this moment where you feel everyone wants to kill you. You pretty much don't trust anyone, which sounds really scary. He says ramp-ups express his personality more and that you also become more adolescent in your expression when going through one. He tells Letterman, quote, if you don't take medication every day to keep you at a certain state, you have a potential to ramp up and it can take you to a point where you can even end up in the hospital and you start acting erratic, as TMZ would put it. That was his quote. West also went into detail about his hospital experience, saying, quote, they have this moment where they handcuff you, they drug you, they put you on the bed, and they separate you from everyone you know. But West says he's actually happy that he's experienced that, sharing that it encouraged him to change and encouraged him to change the stigma around bipolar disorder. He adds, quote, it's a health issue that has a strong stigma on it, and people are allowed to say anything about it and discriminate in any way. This is like a sprained brain, like having a sprained ankle, and if someone has a sprained ankle, you're not going to push on him more. West seemingly announced that he was bipolar when he released his 2018 summer album titled I Hate Being Bipolar. It's awesome. That was 2 years after fans already speculated something was going on when West was hospitalized for a psychiatric emergency in 2016. That was following the cancellation of his St. Pablo tour. Another confirmation came this April from his wife Kim Kardashian West. In an interview with Vogue, she said the couple reached a pretty good place with his mental health, adding they can definitely feel episodes coming and they know how to handle them. West's time with Letterman, it wasn't all serious though. The rapper and fashion designer also set aside some time to style the host. Watch this.
Letterman swag. That's fire.
Kanye, how do I look? Do I look okay or do I look like, oh my God, what's he up to?
Look like an artist.
Oh, buddy.
It's like when I used to work at the Gap, bro.
It's actually really heartwarming.
Yeah, a little different than the Gap too. And by the way, Letterman pulls it off.
He does. Yeah, he looks sharp.
And that the beard, it almost like makes him more modern in some weird twisted way. I can't figure it out.
I like it a lot.
All right, The Bachelorette's Hannah Brown is starting to uncover some little red flags about her contestants, one in particular. Now, during the second group date on Monday night's episode, the guys did a photo shoot with animals. During that shoot, Luke P uncomfortably offered to walk her to her dressing room, at which point Hannah started to view his affection as aggression. In an on-camera interview, the Bachelorette vents, saying, Luke P stole the show again, but in a negative way. I know he's one of my strongest connections, but it's annoying when he tries to flaunt our connection in front of the other guys. Check out what else she had to say about the cringeworthy situation here.
Luke P tried to grab me after our photo shoot. He doesn't have to be beside me the whole time to know that we're good. We're good.
Everybody, group photo.
I need him to slow his roll. He is not guaranteed this. I have a lot of other relationships that are really great too.
He's getting a little clingy, apparently. Another early frontrunner, Cam, also seemed to be burning his own bridge during Monday night's episode. During the other group date, Cam fought for time with Hannah by continuously interrupting the other men's conversations with her. He even stood idly by while Mike confessed to Hannah that he had gotten an ex pregnant and that she had lost the baby in the second trimester. It was actually a really emotional moment for them. Then Cam retorted Cam, had quit his job to come on The Bachelorette. He tells Hannah, quote, "If we're going to talk about bold gestures, I actually had to resign from my job. I chose to be here for you." Newsflash, Cam, so did everyone. I mean, at some level, sacrifice. Anyway, whatever. Then, still feeling he didn't get enough time with Hannah, Cam told the rest of the men ahead of the tailgate party, which replaced this week's cocktail party, that he needed to grab Hannah to say something pretty serious. Mike called BS on the whole thing and told Hannah that Cam confessed that string of sad stories in order to receive a pity rose. Spoiler, it did not end well for Cam. There's so much here this week, guys. Stay with us. We're breaking down Luke P, Cam, and many more things in our weekly Bachelorette recap. That's a little later in the show. All right, here we go. Miley Cyrus fans, get ready. The pop singer announced on social media Monday that she's got some new music dropping this Friday, sharing a sultry promotional video of herself eating fruit with the caption, "She's coming 5/31." It's the same phrase that she's been teasing all month. Very flashy and lots of aggressive fruit eating.
It's very aggressive.
Miley also revealed the cover art for her new EP, which features her posing in a black and white photo wearing a crop top that reads, "Never mind the Boehlkes." It's a reference there to the Sex Pistols album from 1977, a little throwback vibe. It's got fans hyped for the release. One fan reacted to the news of the drop with, "We're so ready, Mom." Another fan wrote, "I have good hopes that this album is already a bop." Yumna says she's been, quote, "waiting for this day for so long," and that was alongside a crying emoji and a yellow heart. She meant it. Another fan simply tweeted a picture of Chandler from Friends listening to music while hugging the cover art. Oh, we feel you. This is going to be Miley's first EP drop since 2017's Younger Now, which gave us the hit Malibu, which I can honestly sing that song for days because it just gets stuck in my head. You can pre-save She Is Coming on Spotify or pre-order on Apple Music right now. Get it while you can. All right, it's official. America loves Aladdin. The live-action Disney movie is smashing box offices everywhere, grossed $112.7 million in the United States over Memorial Day weekend. Pretty sure it qualifies as a worldwide phenomenon now. Internationally, the movie brought in an estimated $121 million across 54 territories for that 3-day weekend. We had so much fun watching Will Smith as the genie on screen. Turns out it was just as much fun behind the scenes to work with him.
He set a pace that then everyone followed. He was always there before I was there, which was slightly embarrassing.
We were just giggly, like we just got the giggles, and then Will just always comes out with something that makes it even worse, and then you get even more the giggle, and then you have to, like, you can't get it back. Like, those days were great because he's just, you know, funny.
He is 100% positive and 100% grateful and 100% appreciative of everything.
He would do some really fun things. Like, he would bring like different food trucks and different like fun things. We had like a macaroni and cheese, like all these different types of mac and cheese, which was amazing.
Will is incredibly professional and kind and treats everybody the same, which is amazing.
He just makes it fun.
He's nothing other than a complete pleasure to work with.
You know, when pictures first came out about Will as the genie, everyone was making fun of him, but he really pulled it off.
He did, and he owns it in a way that he's the perfect guy to do it, to sort of take the mantle from what Robin Williams had established with that animated version and kind of make it his own, but also there's sort of this homage to Robin Williams' version as well. I don't know how they did it, but they pulled it off. Yeah. All right, we all know about the basic story of Aladdin, I would assume. The genie's 3 magical wishes. You know, we had to ask them what their wishes would be. Some of these are pretty decent. Take a look.
They would all be selfish. I'd like to pretend that one would be altruistic, and maybe it would, but...
One would be to know all the languages in the world, right? To speak all the languages in the world.
I would wish to travel more. I haven't gotten to travel the world a lot, so I hope I get to do that.
You have to be consistent with the theme of the film, right? The theme of the film is ultimately those wishes that you go for end up getting you in nothing but trouble. 2
would be to have like, have no allergies. Because I'm really cool like that. To get rid of like my dairy allergy, that'd be great. I just eat like cream, just like, yeah.
I'd wish for a little bit more peace and love in the world. I think we all need a little bit more of that, especially nowadays.
I'd have to give a wish away because, like, you know, otherwise I just look really selfish.
I really wish I could have kept the magic lamp. I think that's the one thing that I would ask for. I mean, I'm holding it in the poster. Why can't I have it?
Aladdin is in theaters right now. You can check it out. Now, Andrea, you have more for us in Star Treks.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Treks today with a hilarious reaction from one of our favorite pop stars. Ariana Grande's fans aren't the only ones confused by her new wax figure at Madame Tussauds London. The singer has finally broken her silence about the new sculpture that went on display last week. So check it out here. Pop Crave News posted an image of the wax figure, and Ari hilariously commented, "I just want to talk." When unveiling Grande's wax likeness, the Fame Museum was confident they, quote, nailed the Grammy Award-winning artist. The company previously asked Twitter users to help determine which style to use for the new figure, allowing fans to vote between Classic Ari, Sassy Ari, or Princess Ari. The winning Classic Ari style features the star's signature high ponytail, an oversized sweatshirt, and over-the-knee boots. And in the museum's defense, they did capture Ariana's style. But her face, I don't know. I think it's another story here. Fans were quick to call them out for it. One fan reacted on Twitter saying, "I look more like Ariana Grande than this wax figure of Ariana Grande," and then followed up with, "And I look nothing like Ariana Grande." Another upset fan wrote, "Doesn't even slightly resemble her. What are you doing?" One fan can't look away, writing, "The longer I look, the more confused I get." Yeah, I mean, they usually do such a great job, but the face just doesn't look like her.
It's weird because when that side-by-side was there, it's like, oh, it does look like her. But then when
But
you just
that
look at
right
it like
there,
that.
it doesn't look like her at all.
Overall, it's kind of like because they do them so well normally.
Yes, normally they do it
It's
so
dead
well.
on. So then the
'Cause
expectation
that
is.
it doesn't.
It's the essence, but it's not. Yeah.
Like if I walked by, I'd be like, "Oh, I think that's supposed to be Ariana Grande." I think.
I think that's a girl dressed like Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could look at these pictures forever. I relate to that Twitter user. It's like fascinating. Anyway, maybe they'll redo it. Maybe it'll just live like that forever. Moving on to this. Jeremy, what do you get when you put 2 unicorns and 2 dinosaurs together?
I don't know.
You get Hilary Duff's adorable family. Duh. The younger star spent Memorial Day weekend cozied up with her 7-month-old daughter Banks, her 7-year-old son Luca, and her fiance Matthew Coleman. It's super adorable. Hilary showed off her family's playful holiday ensembles on Instagram. Mom rocked a unicorn onesie with Banks, while Luca and Matthew sported matching dino suits. Hilary announced her engagement on May 9th, sharing the excitement of her fiance's proposal on Instagram with a snap featuring her gorgeous diamond and the caption, "He asked me to be his wife." The proposal came shy of 7 months after the couple welcomed baby Banks. This will be the second marriage for Hilary. She was previously married to former ice hockey player Mike Comrie. She shares son Luca with him. And it looks like Hilary's kids already have a very special bond. She shared another video 6 days ago of the siblings on Instagram. You can see baby Banks crawling here eagerly towards big brother Luca. Looks like they're already the best of friends. Very sweet. All right, we cannot wait for Godzilla to hit theaters this Friday. It is full of action and, of course, epic monster fight scenes. Obviously, the intense scenes rely a little on special effects, but the actors had no problem getting into the mindset. Take a look.
I took all my cues off this guy.
I was sleeping half the time.
He gave us a lot of process to see the picture, to show the animation, and then
Yeah, I mean, I loved bringing them sort of into my process.
Right.
So I would bombard them with concept art, storyboards. Before we rolled, I would show them the previs animation, which is sort of like a roughly animated 3D version of the storyboards, just so they had an idea like what to picture instead of a tennis ball on a stick.
Yeah.
I've been playing Godzilla like my whole life, you know, pretending that I was in this world my whole life, so I was kind of mentally prepared. But as far as looking like you're about to die, that was challenging. I just would think like, if this was it would suck. If I was about to die
This
today,
would be a bummer.
Yes.
For this, I definitely, music was my go-to, and it was nice because Michael Dougherty played a lot of music while we were filming, so it helped us get into this perspective of our characters.
Oh, and we played the roars on set too. So I had big speakers placed all around the soundstage.
Yeah, sometimes.
And an iPad in my tent, and so I could play like the roars or screeches of Ghidorah, Rodan, or whatever. It was like a monster DJ.
We stopped this Ghidorah. We stopped them all.
I'll tell you, I learned a lot, and I'm sure we all did. Being in a project this big and watching all the moving pieces and all the people involved in this that had to make things happen and what have you, that was quite a learning experience. There's a lot of people on that stage doing a lot of different things to make it all happen. I've never been part of something with that many moving pieces. Yeah.
It looks so good. And it wasn't all work and no play on set. Stars of the film, Thomas Middleditch and O'Shea Jackson Jr., filled us in on the pranks that Millie Bobby Brown and director Michael Dougherty would play. Well, sort of.
She took all of our IDs. That was difficult.
She took our IDs and she cut them. And we were like, oh, that's kind of funny, but we need those. And she was like, figure it out.
That's messed up.
I would prank, you know, the director of the movie was a big prankster, Michael Dougherty, so we love to work together and prank people.
And she lives in Atlanta, and we couldn't leave Atlanta, so it was awkward at the airport.
She knew that I'm like a Canadian citizen, so I don't have my green card, and so she like threw away my green card and was like, I called ICE, and I had to deal with the agents. I had to get a new green card. It was crazy. I was thrown in jail.
She helped me. Yeah, I love that she's running around bragging that she's like the queen of pranks or something. And she's like a JV level prankster. She has so much to learn. But we started going at each other, and then we started to team up against other cast members.
She called my dad and was like, hey, did you hear? And he's like, what? He's like, Thomas drove off a cliff. He had a terrible accident. He's dead. He's gone.
Yeah, I remember this.
Now my dad set up a whole funeral service. My hometown had like a kind of like I'm like a huge celebrity in my hometown.
Right.
And they had like a morning parade and all that kind of stuff. And then she was there at the podium and she just said psych and walked away.
Yeah, ruined it. It was like 3-week joke.
It's dark though too. It's dark.
I was just there to have a good time.
Definitely a hilarious cast. But all jokes aside, the movie is a fun ride from start to finish. Even O'Shea's famous fam had high praise.
First off, I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
Toot it,
but this is probably the coolest movie in the Jackson Belt, you know? So I'm killing it right now. And him and my mom, the movie put my mom into tears. And usually that's bad, but it was good. You know, my mom loved it. She loved what Mike had done with the film. She described it as biblical. Yeah, so it got heavy. And my dad loves it. You know, he was geeking out. And it's gonna be a lot of celebrating for a while because of Godzilla. King of the Monsters in theaters May 31st.
Great promo there. He looks so much like his dad.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, stay with us, guys. Renée Zellweger completely surprised her What If co-stars in one very unexpected way. They're telling us all about that. Plus, bringing you all the best DIY tips from the host of HGTV's Hidden Potential. Jasmine Roth is here. She's going to be live telling us all about that and some ways that we can get better at it. Stick around.
Lamar Odom is hitting the ground running with his new tell-all book, Darkness to Light. So Odom almost died from an overdose in 2015. Now he's opening up to people about his struggles with addiction and the aftermath of that overdose. Watch.
Waking up, I was like pulling the tubes out of my throat. And remember trying to talk. And I can't even really explain it. Like the thought process, like you trying to talk, you can't even get the words out. I think that was like the scariest part, and not being able to walk. And I'm a big athlete all my life, you know what I mean?
Seems horrifying, right?
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, Odom's love for drugs and sex paralleled his NBA career. He reveals that he's had sex with 2,000 women. He reveals that he's a sex addict and says that his sex addiction triggered his drug use and vice versa. Odom breaks all of that down for us. Watch.
They told me that, you know, you got different triggers for different things. And I learned that, you know, sex was even a trigger for me to do drugs. Because you want to, like, double up on the feeling, on how good you want to feel. When the divorce was official, the Bunny Ranch incident happened like right after that, if I'm not mistaken. So I could just imagine where my mindset was at. I probably was like really depressed at that time. You know, looking to have sex.
Lamar also opens up about his very public marriage to Khloe Kardashian, which we know was followed by an equally public and difficult divorce. So she famously stuck by his side during his 2015 overdose. Yeah. And their initial fairy tale marriage spiraled when he amped up his drug use, became unfaithful to Khloe, and completely lost interest in basketball.
He gets very real about his relationship with Khloe and what he would do differently today.
I think the hardest part for me to visit was just how I treated, you know, that lady who loved me, who gave me anything that I, you know, ever wanted. Yeah, I wish I could have been more of a man at that time.
I'm fascinated by the story.
It's very fascinating. It's nice to see him kind of reflect, and he's in a much better place today. And I think it's going to be a really interesting read.
Sure, check that out. All right, now I'll take a look at this.
You guys have really good energy. She's kissing other guys. It's not an easy pill to swallow. I just need to get something off my chest with her real quick.
Later, okay? I need him to slow his roll.
Luke's self-imploding. There's something I need to discuss with Hannah.
Cam told us that he's gonna tell you a sad story to kind of get the pity rose.
This just feels really schemy and slimy to me.
Schemy, slimy, the whole thing. It was all exposed. Here to break down Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette is People writer and reporter Jody Guglielmi. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Let's break down that first group date. Female anatomy class. You've got the breastfeeding, changing diapers, labor pains. We were talking about this. Not a bad idea for every man to experience.
Every man should do the labor simulator,
It
right?
seems, I mean, it seems painful, but it seems like they all had a lot of fun still.
Yeah, and plus you've got Jenny Mullen and you've got Jason Biggs, which are perfect to kind of own the tone of this and make it really fun and kind of ridiculous.
Totally.
But what'd you think of the theme, and did you think it was too soon to cover babies when it comes to this group?
No, I mean, The Bachelorette, your relationship is already on an accelerated timeline. So they walk in saying, this is what I want.
Suggestive.
I mean, look, John Paul Jones, like, shaking that baby upside down. Yeah, I find some red flags here.
Yes, but handing a baby, or a toy baby, to an adult male always makes for great television. So I was living for it.
The other thing is, if Hannah, there you go. Yeah, the guys really owned it. But if Hannah's interested in having a family later, it is kind of interesting to see how guys react to having a kid, even though that was just
There's also something so sweet about her being there comforting them as they go through this pain. I was like,
I
they're
know.
like bonding in a way.
Yeah, it was.
And you know, they say seeing a guy sick or in pain tells a lot about the person.
Even if it's simulated pain.
Even if it's simulated pain.
I really liked it. I thought the dates were really
it.
fun this season, for sure. Let's talk about the cocktail party that followed the day. Some drama here. Cam says he wants uninterrupted one-on-one time with Hannah. He interrupts Mike 3 times. Also, Mike was having this really deep conversation about he and his ex-girlfriend lost their baby in second trimester. So Cam comes in. What is your take on Cam and everything that he's doing here?
I mean, it just goes to show you shouldn't always be Cam. I mean, I thought that it was in bad taste. You know, he really was starting to push the guy's buttons already.
And Hannah's button.
And Hannah's button.
You could see.
He was not into it. She was annoyed, and you know, she kept saying like, "I'll get to you. Like, just give us a few more minutes." And I think when the Bachelorette or the lead is telling you to back off a little bit, back off a little.
What I really like about Hannah is you can see it on her face.
Right.
She basically, like, if she's uncomfortable, you know.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes with other bachelors, like, okay, sure. And she's just like, it's fine, dude.
Right, and then to be interrupting such a serious moment because you have your own serious moment, and that moment is to say, hey, I quit my job to be here.
Like everybody sacrificed something.
Like, I'm pretty sure everybody quit their job to be
Everyone
there.
has to take off,
Granted, to some degree, he didn't know that he was walking into a really serious, but that aside, some situations you can tell they edit it to make it more cringy. This just was cringy on its own.
100%.
It was unbelievable. He had no, like, just
I
no
know.
concept
No
of what's
awareness.
happening. All right, here we go. Connor S. He scored this week's one-on-one. He was really pumped for it.
Mhm.
He was so excited. They had to change the initial plan. Hannah was sick. They kind of alluded to what happened, but no real details. But the point is, he ended up, we see here, meeting her at her place. They hung out in the bed the whole time. I don't think he was complaining too much. This was also one of those, though, while he was talking, I feel like she was just sitting there like, I don't feel good. But it was still endearing and sweet, and it went well overall. He left little Post-it notes and stuff. And then she came back later, and they ended up getting a performance from Lucas Graham, which I was relieved that we even knew who the artist was, because in years past, seasons past, it's like, who is that? What do you think about Connor and his sort of emergence here? I felt like it was a big moment for him.
I loved it. I actually think that while, you know, you're sad for Hannah that she's not feeling great, they probably actually got more conversation time in than an average one-on-one because they weren't doing an activity, so they really had time to just talk and get to know each other.
Exactly, because sometimes on these dates, they're in a helicopter, they're like doing all these things, but they actually were able to have face-to-face time. He's so sweet. He's so cute.
I know,
He's one of my new favorites.
I loved him.
Do you think he's a threat now moving forward, like a contender for the long haul?
I do. I think because they got that extra time together, I think that kind of solidifies their bond above others.
Yeah, I'm a fan. All right, let's get into the second group date. They did a photo shoot with animals. Another great date. So Peter the pilot was like kissing Hannah in front of everybody. Bold move there. there. Luke P has a hard time with all of this, right? Then Hannah gets upset with him because he's trying to flaunt their relationship. What's your take on Luke P and how he is handling all of this and the competition aspect?
Listen, I said this last week. I think it's a little too much. He's a little too confident, and we definitely see Hannah start to pick up on that. I think that he is just one of those guys who isn't used to having to compete for girls, maybe. And the fact that she isn't just head over heels in love with him, I think is tripping him up a little bit.
Yeah, there's something like that going on there. We've talked a lot about it, but things got a bit more tense at the cocktail party later between Hannah and Luke P. Hannah confronted Luke about his behavior. She had a few things to say. Let's take a quick look and then we'll react.
And I'm glad that we automatically had a deep connection, but I've been struggling a little bit with it because I just feel like you already think it's promised to you, and that bothers me a lot. And I feel like your confidence in this kind of makes me irritated in a way.
Well, can I just cut you off for a second? Honestly, I'm happy we're having this conversation.
Yeah, hold on, let me talk.
All right, sorry.
I don't I want you to focus on me, and you do that, but you also don't respect that I do have other relationships here, for me.
Right.
And that bothers me.
Do you think Luke is threatened by the competition, or is he so confident and thinks he's gonna go far?
I definitely think he is threatened. I think that's why he's acting this way. He feels like if he doesn't insert himself, he might fall into the background.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it very far. I think at first she had this initial lust for him,
right,
and now she's like, oh, kind of seeing him for who he really is.
I think she talks to him like a boyfriend. I think he's in a great place.
I
do.
think-
Yeah, in spite of
Look
it.
how frustrated she is. No
I know,
one does that face.
but she's being so honest.
No one does that.
She's like, look, you're good. I just felt like she's in it with him and he's in a special category.
I think he got his warning, and if he doesn't calm it down, he could be going, but if he does kind of hear her and listen to what she says, I think he could stick around for a little while.
All right, instead of a cocktail party, they have a tailgate party, which I really liked. Roll Tide.
Yeah, that was fun. That was actually really fun.
So Cam says he wants to talk to her about something very serious, right? Really personal. He wants to pull her aside first. Mike calls him out on that. Feels like he's manipulating Hannah and just wants a pity rose. Mike pulls Hannah aside, tells her about it. Now, she trusts Mike and confronts Cam. So let's watch this clip.
This morning, I did want to make it clear to guys that I did have something very serious that I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, I heard a pity rose.
Pity rose? I would never compromise the integrity of what I've been through for a pity rose. This is a serious thing. This is a very serious thing.
No, the story, what you told me is very serious, but it feels very manipulative at the timing of it.
The rose ceremony's in a couple of hours, and we didn't have the cocktail party. This was the cocktail party.
This is not about just getting roses and staying. This just feels really schemy and slimy to me. It just seems really, really calculated.
So yeah, a lot of confrontations this week. Jody, what's Hannah going through right now?
I think she's really trying to figure out who's here for the right reasons, and I think with what had happened at the cocktail party with Cam, when these allegations came up of wanting a pity rose and just kind of trying to get her attention in any way possible, I think she's over it.
And he wrote the guy's letters.
No, right. And she called him out for that. She's like, wait, so why'd you write them goodbye letters if you didn't think you're leaving?
So
He's like, well, she was done with him at that point. It was
Why is he
over.
writing letters? I want to see those letters.
Me too.
I want to read that.
I want to
Release
read
the letters,
Someone
Chris
post
Harrison.
it to Instagram.
All right, before we check in on our question of the day, Jody, how do you think the rest of the season is going to play out for Hannah? How do you think maybe she's different than previous Bachelorettes at this point?
You know, this has actually been one of my favorite seasons of The Bachelorette thus far, so I'm really excited to see what comes. I think she's doing an incredible job of standing her ground. She is proven to be such a strong woman. She knows what she wants, and she's not going to take it from anybody.
She's taking the reins back.
Yeah, I honestly agree. I'm really liking this season.
It's surprising, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I've already kind of put my vote in for my favorite season.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
No one saw that coming.
All right, we asked our viewers which Bachelorette frontrunner is their favorite in our People poll, so let's take a look at this. I'm curious. I hope Peter.
Wait. What? Mike, 7%?
That's shocking.
Last night, Mike was a standout, above everyone.
That's really surprising. I loved Mike.
I love Mike and I love Connor.
If Peter has one more pilot analogy, we're really taking off, we're coming in for landing, if that happens much more, I'm
Other producers make them do that.
I know they do, and I love him, but stop it. All right, Jody, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
To follow along with us, guys, watch The Bachelorette every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. But now take a look at this.
Let's take cheating out of the equation. Say you were fully complicit in our affair. Would that be an acceptable condition of a firm offer to finance your company?
You're asking if I would be willing to trade my husband for my company? No. That would not be an acceptable condition. Anne.
All right, would you let your spouse sleep with someone else if the money was right? That's the central question in the new Netflix series, What If?, created by Mike Kelly, who was also behind one of our favorite guilty pleasure series ever, ABC's Revenge.
So Renée Zellweger plays the scene-stealing character of Anne Montgomery, the woman with a proposition, if you will. We wanted to know how similar Renée is to her character, so we got the lowdown from her co-stars Blake Jenner and Jane Levy.
The biggest similarity, I kind of want to avoid talking about this, but I can't help it, I guess, is like their attractiveness. They're both very alluring.
Yes.
Renée and Anne Montgomery. And the biggest difference is that Anne is like a evil witch and nihilistic and selfish, and Renée Zellweger is like kind and thoughtful and warm and inclusive. She drives a minivan. That was surprising.
Yeah.
She drives a minivan.
Wears a ball cap everywhere.
Wears a ball cap, doesn't have any sort of entourage, no assistant.
Yeah, not at all.
No pretense. She's like, I mean, it's like sort of cliche to talk about a movie star and be like, they're so down to earth, but she is.
No, she really is.
So Renée also gave Jane some pretty valuable advice on set. This is a game changer. Take a look.
The other day, we screened the pilot for a small group of people, and there was like a step and repeat, and I get really uncomfortable getting my picture taken. Blake even noticed that I was shaking, which is so embarrassing. And I was like, Renée, how do I do this? And she was like, put your shoulders back. And I was like, oh, Renée just told me the secret of how to look beautiful for a picture. No one has ever told me that before. So just so you know, when you get your picture taken on a step and repeat, Renée says, put your shoulders back. Do you do that?
I'm gonna do that now. I feel like I've been hunching this entire time.
Now we're putting our shoulders
back.
back. I think we're good to go. Anyway, we asked Jane and Blake if they think the audience will consider What If a guilty pleasure as well. They both said yes. So we had to get them to spill on some of their own guilty pleasures.
The Notebook.
The Notebook is your guilty pleasure?
I texted you and I was like, I messaged you.
How many times do you think you've seen The Notebook?
Oh, so many.
How many?
Oh, if I have to guess?
Yeah, actually.
Like 27.
I've never seen a movie more than twice.
That's one of them. And Twizzlers. All right, you go.
No, tell us more.
Well, you go and then I'll think of more.
Guilty pleasure. Alcohol?
We're pretty much in the heart of suburbia here. Every house looks the same, and there's a good chance you're gonna walk into your neighbor's house. This doesn't look to me like your house at all. The goal is to take it from cookie cutter to custom made and make all of their house dreams come true.
I can't believe this is our house.
Oh my gosh! Wow! Oh, I love it!
Oh my gosh.
Don't cry, don't cry.
I love seeing those transformations. We are joined now by the host of HGTV's home transformation show, Hidden Potential. It's Jasmine Roth. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Of course,
Good
thanks
to
for
see you.
having me.
I'm trying to get Jasmine to work dancing into the show.
Yeah, it's not really a thing we do on the construction site to make it awkward.
We do it here. Yeah,
They might be too excited to dance. You know, it's just me and the guys.
Yeah. Earlier she was in makeup and I thought she was someone else and I just came dancing in. She's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Hi.
Anyway.
You're cool, so it's not I'm scared.
Season 2, Hidden Potential, debuts Monday, June 3rd.
Yeah.
Very exciting. It's coming up. What are you most excited about this season?
So this season, we definitely stepped it up. We did 17 houses, you guys. Do you even understand? Like 17?
No, I can't believe it.
Not just like a room either, like the full house. So I'm so excited to show off all the different families, all the different types of houses and different styles.
How big's your team?
We've got a lot of
Is
people.
it hundreds of people? I mean, 17 out? Like, how do you do that? That's unreal.
Also, you get in on the physical labor, which I love. So are you physically exhausted after all of that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's like, what do you do for a workout? And I'm like, no, like, I don't go to the gym. Like, this is it. Like, I get in there and rip these houses apart. And it's all because
these homeowners, they're not going to do this on their own, and that's what the house needs. So
I just love this like tough girl.
Yeah.
Like I love it. Your first season, very successful, over 10 million viewers. So how would you say that this season has grown? How is it going to be different?
So this season, we definitely have houses that are a little bit more varied as far as the style goes. I mean, these are homeowners that are like, look, I really, really want a California Cape Cod style, but I have these 4 kids and 3 dogs, and like everybody's completely different. So being able to like mix it up with that, and then also we're just going all out with like the really personalized like projects.
Yeah.
So making these houses super custom. Like if you could move into a house and have it be exactly how you need it, how nice would that be?
What I love is it doesn't have to be a big mansion, right? It can be a modest home and it can be turned into something really incredible. What do you view as the most extreme overhaul you've done on a modest house?
Oh my goodness. I mean, we knocked down walls. We ripped like the whole front of the houses off of the house and just start fresh. So whether it's like a new garage door, a new front door, adding siding, all new landscaping, adding patios, ripping out a window. I mean, I could go on.
Do you get more pumped with when it's a clean slate, or do you like going in and tinkering with the bones of it as they are?
Both.
Yeah.
But, I mean, definitely when you go in and you have that before and then it transforms into that after, that's when it's just crazy. I mean, I have homeowners that walk in and they're like,
what?
This isn't the same house. And I'm like, no, it is, and it's your house. And they're like, I see my photo on the wall, but is it really my house? I'm like, yes, like look around, this is your house.
That's amazing. And you have a lot going on. You have another project that's coming out in September. You renovated the Brady Bunch home. What?
What? So
awesome. That's so cool. So tell us about that. How did this happen?
So, I mean, HGTV bought the Brady Bunch house, and this is the house that was used for like the establishing shot of the Brady Bunch, the show that we all grew up watching. And yeah, we renovated it to make it exactly like it was on the set of the Brady Bunch. So all 6 Brady kids, 8 of us HGTV hosts, we all just like descended upon this house, and we've been working for 6 months, and it's done.
So you got to meet them and interact with them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, your favorite memory from that?
Oh, it was so much fun. Okay, so the Brady Bunch house is the 2nd most photographed house in the US, only to the White House. And at some point they built this like wall in front of the house because people were like literally going up and taking photos on the front stoop. So myself and Chris Knight got out there and we were like, okay, we got to get rid of this wall. And he's like, I don't know, my back, I don't know. And I'm like, it's fine, I got it. I take one swing with the sledgehammer. He's like, that looks like fun. Give me it. I had to pull him away from the wall. He got so into it. We had such a good time. Each and every one of them I have a story with where they just got so involved. And I mean, it's their house, but I didn't expect them to really like bring it. And they did. They loved it. The power tools, all of it.
Yeah, I was telling you, I have friends that live near there that like the community was taking pictures and like, wow, they're doing stuff to the Brady Bunch house.
Yeah.
But for you, when you're demolishing pieces of this iconic home, which obviously, look, the exterior is what it is, but was there a part of you that was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're changing it?
Yeah, well, we're changing it, but we were making it exactly like it was on the set.
Right.
So really, we were like bringing it back to its original.
In that way, you're giving it even more connection to its legacy, right?
So the cool thing was, I mean, the idea is that these Brady kids, which they're not kids anymore, right?
Yeah.
They walk in and they get to see the house exactly like it was. I mean, imagine walking into your childhood home, but then not only having it be the same house, but having it like piece for piece exactly like it was. It's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we did last week. We did the final reveals, and I can't wait to like share it with America as the show. And it's going to be a really fun show.
We're very excited to see that.
September.
You're also part of a new series called Rock the Block, hosted by Drew Scott, Property Brothers. So what can you tell us about this show?
So there's 4 of us HGTV designers, all women, and we're each going to get an identical home. I don't know that much about it because they're saving it. It's a competition, and we're each going to get an identical home and a set amount of money and have a certain amount of time, I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks, to add as much value to that house as we can, just like put our own spin on it. So I'm super
that's
excited.
fun. Also, being a competition show is nice.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine you're very competitive.
Yeah.
You know what? The Property Brothers are too. And we've had them on the show a lot. We love them around here. What was your favorite part of working with Drew Scott?
Oh my gosh. Well, Drew and Jonathan, they're always down to like lift me up. Like literally, like they're like, okay, ready? Run and jump. And I'm like,
Oh, like
what?
physically lift you up.
Like physically lift me up. Like they're all about the acrobatics, and I love that. So like we've had some fun where they're like, let's do some sort of lift, or I don't know. They're just they love
They
to
look
be,
for ways to lift you up.
Yes, they always physically, but they're very fun, and they're always smiling and just like such a positive like attitude. So I love that about them.
All right, so we're gonna do a little brain picking session with you here.
Okay, let's do
Ready?
it.
So we're gonna ask for some renovation tips for people that are new to all of this.
Yes.
Ready?
Here we go. Some people tend to leave their home kind of bland. It sort of lacks inspiration. They don't know where to start. For someone who's uninspired, what's a good starting point to kind of launch their enthusiasm?
Okay, don't make fun of me. Watch HGTV. I mean,
Actually,
come
you're
on.
totally right. I mean, it sounds like just
Yeah.
a plug, but you're totally right. When I watch the shows, it's like, oh my gosh, we could do that, and then I do none of it.
You actually do it.
It's all up here for later.
But you have the inspiration.
Inspiration's there.
Okay, so another thing, so with a lot of DIY projects, people are really intimidated. What advice do you give to those people that want to do it, they don't know where to start? What's like an easy way to get into it?
I think paint, honestly, is one of the easiest things you can do, because if you mess it up, you can always repaint. It's not expensive. You can watch all kinds of like tutorial, self-help, DIY type videos. So just Google like how to paint a room, and suddenly you know how.
I was literally going to ask you about that in a minute, about painting and doing it yourself and making it still have the crisp lines and look good like the pros did it. What's your number one tip? Just tape?
Tape.
Right.
But honestly, tape.
Don't
and
eyeball it.
Pay attention to the times. So like if you leave that tape on there for too long, it messes it up. If you take it off too quickly, it messes it up. So don't get scared.
I'm already stressed.
Just
Let's
no.
call the guy.
Just watch.
All right.
That's fair.
Are there any renovation rules that you follow? We've heard of like the rule of three in terms of like 3 pieces
There
and
you
stuff
go.
like that. But what's the rule?
So my rule is a room is not finished until you add a plant. So you guys are doing good here.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be a real plant. It can be a faux plant. It can be a real plant. But literally every single room, even a bathroom, should have a plant.
Okay, but I have all these plants, and then now I have these like gnat things, these little bugs.
Oh, yeah.
So now I have these little flies that are in my apartment. So what do you do about that?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Is that bad?
Move,
I have them at my house as well.
Call the exterminator.
Yeah, check if there's any stagnant water in the bottom.
Okay.
Lift the plant, and that's where they come.
All right. Yeah, but the plants look great. It's just now I have flies out everywhere. Okay, New York City apartments are really small. So what's a way to, make it seem bigger with how you decorate or design?
Yeah, I think mirrors are super helpful. Don't like make your entire apartment mirrors though, right? It's not a fitness studio, but a mirror here and there can really, really make it seem like you've got extra dimension to your space. And I love any space, whether it's big or small, family photos.
Yeah.
Frame those selfies, whatever it is, just a personalized touch here and there can make your space feel so much more cozy.
Yeah. Love it. All right, almost out of time, so real quick, last question. If you could give one piece of advice to someone looking to transform their home, what would it be?
That's a tough one. I mean, I think that honestly, just adding a little bit of color, it goes a long way. And switch it up. Don't be scared to like bring something new in. Try it. If you don't like it, whatever.
Yeah.
Just keep a little extra money in the bank to fix it back when you completely destroy
Don't
your
get
house.
crazy, but keep it fresh. you know?
And get the tape for the
Nice.
paint. All right, Jasmine, thank you.
Thank you
Good to talk
guys.
to you. Make sure to check out season 2 of Hidden Potential on HGTV. And coming up tomorrow, we'll be joined live by personal finance expert Susie Orman. She's got advice on all kinds of things. I literally have maybe a stack of questions for her.
I
that
have
we'll be
so
getting
many
to.
questions.
There.
Also, something we have coming up, which is very exciting, Prom.
Look at us.
Yes, was my favorite day ever. So we decided to celebrate the end of prom season with a prom.
Because why wouldn't you do
Check back
that,
in tomorrow, and we'll be hosting some Insta-famous puppies here at People Now. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Tamara Mowry. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Tamara Mowry, and this is One Last Thing. The last show I binge watched had to have been, Game of Thrones.
I promise to fight for the living.
My last big splurge was actually buying a Chanel bag in Paris. So it made it a lot easier to let go of that credit card because I was in Paris. Everything is better in Paris. The last song stuck in my head is by Alina Baraz, and it's called Maybe.
I'll get you